She made it. I've always wanted to tell this story, but I just have never done it. And I thought, what a better time than today. Right, Mom?
That's exactly what you thought.
Okay,
so we can start over from right here, probably.
I'm putting all that in.
You're gonna have to edit it out.
We'll see. Okay. I don't know if I'll edit it.
So I'm just here for some moral support.
Yeah, well, Mom, so, okay.
Several years ago.
So back in 2015, so Adam and I got married in 2014, and then in 2015, but you came over that morning. I took a pregnancy test and it was positive, and I started crying right away because this is my reasoning. I knew it was going to end in miscarriage. Anyways, I started crying and we were hugging, and he said, "Isn't this what you wanted?" And I said, "Yes, but I know we're going to have a miscarriage," is what I told him.
Why did you tell him that? I don't think I knew that you told him that.
Yeah, because so Mom and her sister both had 3 kids and never had any miscarriages, and then her sisters, my cousins, both had miscarriages their first time, so I assumed I was going to have a miscarriage my first time. That is literally the thought process that I had in my head. Did you know that?
No.
So anyways, Mom comes over literally that day, and I just never told her. Never told her. I remember getting in her vehicle and we went to, I think it was going to the pumpkin patch and stuff, and we did all the things.
Do that.
Weeks went by, and everybody says to wait until like 12 weeks or whatever to like tell people you're pregnant or whatever.
How far along were you when you found out that you were pregnant? Is it 8 weeks?
Oh, I think I was like 4 weeks. Adam and I we had 3 weddings one weekend. This was a weekend in October. And in between all this chaos of having 3 weddings, and Adam was actually in one, we got family pictures done. Insert image here. Right? We had planned on telling everybody at Thanksgiving. Yeah. And so I went in for my first ultrasound. It would have been Monday before Thanksgiving, and I didn't have any morning sickness. I didn't have any symptoms at all. I went in for my first ultrasound. I went by myself, which I would never do now. I don't know why.
It's a bad idea.
Why would you even do that?
Well, you didn't want to tell anybody.
Didn't want to tell anybody. So I went by myself, and they put the Doppler on my stomach or whatever, and they said that they could find a heartbeat, so that they needed to do the ultrasound. And so they did an ultrasound, and there was no heartbeat there either. And so then they said I needed to go for like a more like bigger ultrasound, like look further to see like what was going on. And so I came home, I called Adam, and so Adam said he would go with me. I like purposefully scheduled it for like in the evening when he was home.
And how old were you guys at this point?
21.
He was 21?
He just turned 22. Okay. So anyways, Adam went with me, and of course it being our first ultrasound, we didn't know what to even look for, what to see, but we didn't obviously see anything. And so had I told you yet at this point? I don't think I did.
You didn't.
So then the next day, I got like a test result back on my health account, or my chart, or whatever it's called, and it said that I had a molar pregnancy. And so it means that all they found was a bunch of tumors in my uterus instead of a baby. Called the doctor's office, and I was like, "Hey, just wondering what I need to do with these test results I just got." And they were like, "Oh yeah, you're fine. We looked them over. It's no big deal." And I said, "I don't know. It says right here that it's a suspected molar pregnancy." And they're like, "What?" And so then they were like, "We're gonna go talk to the doctor." So they talked to the doctor, and then they called me back and they said, "You need to go to the hospital ASAP." And it was very urgent. And so of course, I didn't know what it was. We had no idea what it was. And I feel like at that point I had called you.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. I don't really remember. But I did call one of my friends days because they said I needed to go in for another ultrasound to like confirm it. And so she met me at the hospital, and I also needed to do blood work. And so we were just starting the process of all that. So she took me to get blood work and got the other ultrasound. And then she took me out to eat. And then they said that I had to go in for surgery the next morning.
Was that Wednesday?
First thing.
Would that have been Wednesday then?
Yeah, first thing the next morning. So she basically just stayed with me the rest of the day, and then we you went to the hospital? Did you go to the hospital?
You called me on Wednesday, and we were talking about Thanksgiving and stuff, and you said we were good. That's when you told me. You said we were going to talk. We were going to tell everybody, but you basically said that you were pregnant, but you weren't.
So I went to the hospital and I had a DNC done.
So you were going to have blood work for like a long...
Yeah. Okay. So what a molar pregnancy, what they explained was that the embryo kept producing cells and was turning into tumors, which could maybe be cancerous or not cancerous. And then, so they had to test that to make sure it wasn't cancer, and it wasn't, but they said that if I were to get pregnant again, then it could be cancer, right? Something like that. So, like...
They advised you waiting for quite a while.
A year and a half or something?
That was long.
Before I could even try again.
But you had to continue to get your levels tested.
I had to go once a week to get blood work done for like 3 months or something. Like that lasted forever. And then after that, it was like once every couple of weeks. And then after that, it was once a month for like 6 months or something they wanted me to be negative for. So that was a really, really long process. Like it just was like constant having to do that over
and you got really sick after this.
Yeah, so I got really sick because I think I was just really super sad. And like my immune system was way down, so I was like actually getting like colds and sicknesses, and was just really sad. And I lost a bunch of weight and wasn't eating the best, and there was other stuff too going on at that time in our life that was really devastating. So
we had some family stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. So I have the procedure. I go home and I'm just resting, and then mom and my brothers and my sister-in-laws and Adam, right? You guys all just came over and you brought food. And
because Adam still wanted to do Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we weren't prepared at all.
Insert pictures here. I'm in my purple robe, just like resting all day.
Yes. And one of your sisters-in-law was kind enough to throw a frozen turkey in the crock pot all night long. Yeah. So we did have turkey in the crock pot.
Yeah.
Thankful that your other brother, who's not usually at that point, wasn't able to come around a whole lot, and so
he was there. That was a really big deal.
One of the last times he was around for a long time.
Yeah. And then I remember after Thanksgiving, the next day, I asked Adam to go buy me a bunch of yarn because I wanted to make a blanket in remembrance of the baby. And I made our knit blanket. I only got like the little yarn, so it was like just like this big piece of like just wholly. It was a good time. It was a nice thought.
And it kept you on. Obviously, we were all traumatized. We never really knew what a molar pregnancy was. I had never heard of one in my entire life. I had never heard of one.
So they say that there was never a baby, but then I've also heard people with like, there's difference between like partial molar pregnancies and then complete molar pregnancies. So like with partial, apparently there is a baby, and some people stick it out and let the molar grow along with the baby and have a baby successfully. Or sometimes they say that like the baby gets suffocated by the tumors. I don't know. It's it's really a complicated pregnancy, I think. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but
how did they treat you over it?
they were fine. The one graphic thing, how they were going to be doing it and how to remove the tumors was they were taking like a,
I don't think I know.
you know how like when you scoop out a pumpkin, you have to scrape all the edges of a pumpkin to get the seeds out? That's what we're doing.
They told you that?
The doctor did. So, but in the 3 days I was seeing all those doctors, I literally met like all the OBs in that office.
Oh,
I saw like 7 different OBs. So between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then the doctor who was going to do the surgery, do you remember this? My doctor who was going to do the surgery wasn't able to do the surgery because she ended up having to go in for her own procedure. So when I went in that morning, I ran into her and she was going in for her own procedure. I was going in for my procedure.
Do you remember that?
How crazy is that? So they had to call a different doctor in. And once I realized...
Immediately it started, your pregnancy levels, even though they were still registering, they were starting to go down in the direction that we needed them to go down.
Once I realized after like 6 months of paying $90 per blood work, so that was a lot. It was the HCG levels that they were testing, so I ended up just the last few months, instead of going in to get my blood work done, I just took pregnancy tests to make sure that they were negative. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So I realized, oh, I could just be using cheap pregnancy tests. Not paying $90 for blood work. Right. Oh yeah, that was something else, is they told me that because I had one molar that I most likely would have more molars, which I have not. Here's my story. Thanks for sitting with me, Mom. Appreciate you.
Gotcha, girl.
And yeah, I'll tell more stories.